Do you ever feel like you've got more things that need to be done than time available to get everything done? Well, you're not alone. This is one of the most common complaints I hear as a coach, and it's something I know that I've struggled with in the past, and it's something that's become particularly pertinent to me right now, embarking on this challenge, adding additional tasks to my day. So today I want to take a moment to share 5 time management tips and strategies that I've found beneficial for me in my day. And I hope you might be able to take some of the elements from these strategies and apply them to your very own recipe. Hello there, and welcome to the From Zero to Marketing Hero podcast. My name's Paul Heron, and this podcast is all about documenting my personal challenge to myself to create, upload, post a podcast episode every single day for 12 months in the hope that I can finally uncover some of the tips and strategies involved in the marketing game, which will enable me to find ways to attract my ideal customer into my world on my own terms. So in this day and age, I feel that we're all busy. We all lead such busy lives, and time management and productivity in general is just such an important factor in us feeling productive, but also making sure that we do the activities and tasks that are actually moving that needle forward and allowing us to experience progress and growth towards our goals and what's most important to us. For myself at the moment, there is a bit of a balancing act that I need to work through. There's my existing one-on-one coaching business and everything that I've set up in relation to that. There is my family time. There is looking after myself, ensuring that I can get out to the gym and do the things that help me to bring that best version of myself to everything I do. I'm also involved in a few different clubs. I'm a member of a Toastmasters group, which takes up a little bit of my time. I also help out coaching a kids' football team, one of my daughter's football teams, which I absolutely love. But finding the balance between all of these different aspects of my life is something that is really important for me at the moment. And time management and managing our time in general is just such an important thing for us to think about. Time is a funny resource in many ways. There is no way for us to create more. No matter how successful we become, how wealthy we become, we can't create more time. We have a finite amount of time available to us, and it really is up to us to find ways to be able to use time in the most productive and healthy way that we can. Ultimately, the goal for most of us is to get through to the end of each day and feel like we have had a successful day. And very often that comes back to us feeling like we prioritized our time effectively, we challenged ourselves, and we took the appropriate actions that we knew that we needed to take that were going to move us closer towards what was most important to us. So today I want to share 5 things that I think have really helped me find a little bit more balance in this area of time management. The first is using some form of time blocking technique to put the important things that we have into our calendar. Very often we have our to-do lists, or we have an idea of the things that we know that we would like to get done. But something that's been really helpful for me is to allocate specific blocks of time each day to these specific tasks that we have. For me personally, I typically use my calendar. I've got a Google Calendar, and as part of my planning, I typically plan my day. I will typically have my coaching calls, for example, already in there. I will have anything else that's sort of already been pre-planned in the calendar. And at the start of each day, I will think about the things that are really important for me to get done that day and go to my calendar and add a specific time block at a specific time and for a specific duration of time as well. And I think that's really important to take note of. For me personally, a lot of my coaching calls are either an hour or 90 minutes. And most common is for me to allocate hour-long time blocks for the specific things that I want to achieve throughout the day. The second time management tip that I want to share with you guys today is to have some space between those time blocks. And this is really important because so often, I've fallen into this trap myself, and I know many others have. If we have a calendar that is just back-to-back task, event, meeting, one after the other, the second we get off track or we get caught behind or get stuck in a meeting, it throws the whole day out of whack. One thing I also like to consider here is what actually is important for us to do today. There is almost an unlimited number of things that we could be doing. And if we come back to the 80-20 rule, typically it's 20% of the things that we've got available to us are actually going to move us closer towards our goals. So when I go about setting my time blocks, I really try to ensure that the things that are going into those time blocks are the things that are actually going to move the needle forward. And I make sure that there is some space in between. So I am typically only putting 3 or 4, sometimes 5 maximum blocks of allocated specific tasks into my calendar, with space either side that can be used for everything else that needs to be done, as well as a bit of a buffer just in case things take longer than expected or you get knocked off course. The third tip follows on from this time blocking space. The third tip is to color code the items that you put into your calendar. I would be quite a visual person, I think, largely. And when I look at my Google Calendar, I have about 3 or 4 different colors of things that go into the calendar. My coaching calls, for example, I put in as a dark green color. Sales calls will be in there as an orange color. I have a different color for family-oriented tasks, a different color for tasks that are outside of home. I work from home most of the time, so anything out of the house has its own color. And when I look at my calendar, I can get much more clarity on what my day looks like and where I'm going to be, and that helps with my preparation in allowing myself to get ready and understand what's required from me that day. So I guess the combination of those 3 tips come together to sort of form how my Google Calendar looks each day. Now, the 4th time management tip that I wanted to share today was to, where possible, the things that are on your mind the most, the hard things, the challenging things, the things that you're thinking about over and over again, where possible, try to do these things first or as early in the day as you possibly can. And there's a couple of reasons for this. I know for me personally, things that fall into this category are the things that are probably most easy to put off, the things that I would find myself procrastinating on and overthinking and bringing on undue stress and worry in some ways. Now, what I've learned from experience is a lot of the reason that we feel this way is because of the uncertainty of how this particular action might unfold and what might happen. Whether it's ringing a client, needing to pass on some bad news, something hasn't gone to plan, something brand new that we've never done before, meeting a new client, or whatever it might be. It's very often the uncertainty of what might happen that keeps this thing in our mind. Now, one thing that I've learned over the years is that once we complete this activity, once we do it, once we take the action and get it done, regardless of the result, regardless of what actually happens, we are no longer uncertain about what might happen. We've done it, we've taken the action, and we know. We're not in that same place of worrying about what might happen. We're on the other side of the action and in a different place altogether where we've got a lot more information and we can actually start planning what the next step is going to be. So getting these difficult tasks done as early in the day as possible provides 2 key benefits. It eliminates that stress and worry throughout the whole course of a day. You can imagine if you're putting something off until the very end of the day, you may have spent that entire day worrying and stressing about what might happen. But if you get it done first, you save that time, and you save that time to be able to use towards something much more productive. And secondly, you've taken the action, learnt a valuable lesson, hopefully, out of completing that action. And you can actually get started on the next step, whatever needs to be done after that, much faster. So there's a double time saving benefit in doing these difficult tasks first. Now, the last time management strategy that I want to give to you guys is something that I use in all of my coaching, and it's something that I've received tremendous value from over the last few years applying myself. And that is this idea of taking time out at the end of each day just to reflect on how the day that has just been has unfolded. And this is huge. It's something that a lot of us don't take the time to do. Most of us have a list of actions or a to-do list, or we put some effort into planning what we want to do. But if we can start to do this reflective piece at the end of the day, it actually enables us to get better at the whole time management planning and planning in general. It's almost like this positive cycle that we're trying to create, This cycle of making a plan at the start of the day, letting ourselves go through the course of the day and take the actions that we take, let the day unfold, and then giving ourselves an opportunity to spend 5 minutes just reflecting on how the day unfolded. What worked? What didn't quite go to plan? What lessons can we take into tomorrow? And if we can start to build this practice of taking a moment to reflect, we can actually start to improve the way we both go about the planning phase. We can start improving the way that we allocate specific tasks throughout the day. And all this leads to a greater understanding of ourselves, a greater understanding of our ability to be able to work out what is most important, to be able to put the plans in place that are going to give us the best chance of following through on these actions, and ultimately to ensure that we stay on track towards making progress towards our goals and what's most important to us. I feel like there's so much more that we could talk about here, and maybe there's an episode in each one of these specific steps, but hopefully this high-level overview of these 5 strategies can enable you to potentially pull out something that you would like to apply to your own time management, goal setting process yourself. I'd really love to know what you guys think. There are literally thousands of books and methods out there that people suggest towards tackling this topic of time management. Ultimately, we need to start working towards something that works for us. And I would just encourage you to have a think through maybe just one thing at a time that you can start to apply, adjust, and see if it works. So reach out and let me know what you think. Do you agree with the way that I approach time management and structure it this way in my calendar? Do you use one of the many productivity apps that are out there? And if there's any that you can recommend, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Or if you have any comments, feedback, or anything to add at all, please reach out and let me know. You can head over to my website, www.paulheronlifecoaching.com. There's a ton of information there. You can reach out and contact me directly. You can join the Facebook group, which is a perfect place to start these conversations so that everyone can benefit. You can subscribe to the podcast. And if you think you'd make the perfect guest, you can reach out and make an inquiry about coming onto the show. So I'll leave it there for today. That's day number 27, done and dusted. And I can't wait to be back tomorrow. Bye for now.